Look over here, ladies and gents. Bracelets, necklaces, wood carvings, stone carvings. We got it all!
The curio market is bustling and filled with a dazzling array of eye-catching goods. A few days ago, Xavier and I received a new mission. We were to investigate a protocore fragment based on the abnormal readings found in a curio market. We spent our whole morning searching for it, and we finally narrowed down its location to this store. The energy trail must be nearby. I put down the stone in my hand and take the next one from Xavier.
Good eye, young fella. That jade you picked up is the best we have.
Holding the stone I got from Xavier, I try to find an energy trace, but to no avail. I shake my head.
You don't like it? You looked at almost 800 of them already.
Xavier shoots the stall owner a look that silences him. We continue browsing.
If you can't decide, let me recommend something to you. Here's a real treasure. It's from an age of prosperity and used to be part of a mask. But it wasn't just any mask. It belonged to a flower goddess. If you really wanted, just... Oh...
Under soft lighting, the gem in the store owner's hand emits a faint glow. Xavier takes the jewel from him and gives it to me. It trembles in my palm. The gem shimmers, as if the energy inside it is about to burst forth. Xavier, I think it's this one. Once the words leave my mouth, a blinding white light engulfs us. With my eyes closed, I stumble. But Xavier catches me, and he pulls me closer to him. Everything fades. And then, I hear my own heartbeat in the silence.
5, 6... She actually ran away. What should we do? If we don't have 7 flower goddesses, we're doomed.
The world spins for a moment. Then, I'm slowly greeted by the sounds of chatter. Opening my eyes, I find myself sprawled out in the corner of a narrow alleyway paved with green bricks. Before me is a row of vintage sedan chairs. Where am I? I can't believe what I'm seeing. The houses to my left and right are reminiscent of ancient architecture. Passers-by are wearing traditional clothing. Is this a dream? Or am I on a movie set? I get up and try to look for Xavier. Maybe he's also here. He should be after catching me.
Well, aren't you a real beauty? Follow me, and you'll be a flower goddess.
Suddenly, a middle-aged woman materializes next to me. On her hand is a shining jade ring. She grabs my arm.
We need one more person. Come.
A flower goddess? My brain is still adjusting to what's currently happening. She pushes me into a sedan chair before I can protest. It's lifted into the air, and I realize I'm being taken somewhere.
Every year during the Royal Spring Festival, 7 flower goddesses are chosen for a special ceremony. It's a grand event. You must have heard of it.
What? The sedan chair wobbles as it moves, and the woman stays close, telling me more about the flower goddess role. It turns out that we're heading to a rich merchant's mansion, where the chosen girls will live and learn to complete the ceremony. I lift the curtain slightly, listening while taking in the surroundings, and finally start to believe that I'm no longer in Lincoln City. The store owner mentioned that the gem was in the flower goddess's mask. Could it be connected to the ceremony? No matter what, the Royal Spring Festival seems like my only clue, so I plan to investigate. And if it's as big as she says, maybe Xavier will hear about it too. Maybe I can find him through this.
Why has the young master not arrived yet? We've been waiting for so long.
I thought we were expecting a tutor to teach us. Who is this young master you speak of?
That merchant ran off to a distant land and left a young man in charge of everything.
They say he's handsome, walking around with an air of finesse. And his calligraphy skills are a sight to behold. He'll be our teacher.
In the square courtyard are ornate walkways. A pond with blooming lotus flowers is at its center. I stand in the mansion's foyer with 6 other girls who are dressed as flower goddesses. They're waiting for what comes next. If we're the flower goddesses, then the mask should be somewhere around here. And with all these people in the courtyard, they won't notice one face has gone missing. Maybe I should start looking. I take a few steps back. Seeing the guards in the middle of a conversation, I take this chance to slip away.
Young master, you promised to teach the flower goddess their first calligraphy lesson.
Sir, but something urgent came up.
A familiar voice makes me stop in my tracks. Is it who I think it is? I turn around to see someone entering the corridor. Xavier? I knew he'd be here. Xavier meets my gaze before he comes to a halt.
A fair lady is a perfect match for a gentleman. Even if you're looking for someone, don't let it consume you day and night.
Actually, I changed my mind. You are correct.
Xavier walks ahead of the old man and gives me a chance to sneak back to the foyer.
Nothing is more important than the Royal Spring Festival at this very moment. I must stay here and diligently teach everyone calligraphy.
Before I can even talk to Xavier, I'm ushered into the Shuyuan, an academic institution, along with the other flower goddesses. It seems our first calligraphy class will be with Xavier himself.
Every stroke needs personality. They can neither be too flat nor too straight. That's too rigid.
Sunlight streams through the window and casts a golden glow on the desk. Xavier places his warm hand on top of mine. His face is centimeters away. I shift slightly, self-conscious of our proximity. Is this how you normally teach your students? Xavier leans in. Fabric brushes against my temple as he murmurs.
Well, you're technically my only student here. Relax.
Oh, okay. My grip on the calligraphy brush loosens as I feel a little more at ease. He guides my hand as he writes several more characters on the paper. They read, "Let's go for a walk after lunch."
You shouldn't rush when turning the brush. Keep your wrist steady, guide the brush, and feel the direction of each stroke.
Xavier circles the word lunch. Confused, I raised an eyebrow.
Watch closely.
Xavier tucks a strand of my hair behind my ear. With the brush, he writes a phrase off to the side, grilled meat. I stifle a laugh and meet his gaze. Young master, your calligraphy is excellent.
Don't forget, you can always ask me if there's anything you don't understand.
While everyone is preoccupied after lunch, I follow Xavier out of the dining hall. The mansion is huge, and we walk along a winding path through the beautiful garden. How did you even get here? Or become the young master for that matter?
The mansion's owner is very sick, and sadly, he doesn't have any kids. As a master of calligraphy, he was looking for someone whose style spoke to him. He wanted to adopt them.
So basically it's all because of your amazing calligraphy skills?
Yes. I also heard the flower goddesses would be visiting. It'd be easier to find you if I was the young master. I didn't expect you to show up in the courtyard, though.
I figured you'd at least notice the Royal Spring Festival preparations. I guess that means we're on the same page?
Since we're so in sync, do you think our thoughts on the next course of action are similar?
I know the last gem I touched had protocore energy. That's probably why we ended up here. Since the protocore fragment brought us here, then maybe it can take us back to Lincoln.
Apparently the masks of the 7 flower goddesses are real. Maybe the store owner wasn't lying. I think the protocore fragment's power is still inside the gem. Let's stay here for now. When the time is right, we'll find that missing.
Have you heard the myth of the mask of the flower goddess?
I put my hand over Xavier's mouth and push him into a corner. I tilt my head and listen to the noises outside. Shoo. We have company. The tension only dissipates when the sound of footsteps fades into the distance. Realizing I've pinned Xavier to the wall, I release him. Xavier gently pulls down my hand.
Did we need to hide? Or can the young master not chat with the flower goddess?
It was going to be awkward. And I heard one of the hosts of this ceremony is the mansion's owner. Since you're an organizer and the young master, it wouldn't look good if I was biased, right? He touches the small of my back, which makes me stand up straight.
But you always have a special place in my heart.
Xavier, you. Just then, 2 maids appear around the corner. I freeze as I'm hugging Xavier. With their heads lowered, they silently walk past us.
Well, I guess everyone knows now. Does this mean I can officially play favorites?
Xavier lets go of me. Crossing his arms, he leans against the wall and smiles. 3 days have passed. Xavier and I have dug up a decent amount of info about the flower goddess masks. It seems 2 families are organizing this year's Royal Spring Festival. But since the celebration is a long way off, the Chin family, who are responsible for the masks, still hasn't chosen the craftsman. We can only twiddle our thumbs in the meantime. The lessons are getting more intense. The study sessions start from dawn and last until dusk. While I'm exhausted, Xavier is always with me, even during class.
Today, we'll be discussing the flower goddess selection process. A good flower goddess must be skilled in calligraphy, making flower cakes, and performing the flower goddess dance.
In the Shiyuan, the white-haired teacher enthusiastically drones on, scroll in hand. His head bobs up and down. But half of the students are asleep. Xavier. I glance at the teacher and whisper to Xavier, who's dozing. He stirs. Finally. Xavier's head dips and his calligraphy brush leaves a messy line of ink across the paper. Wake up.
The Royal Spring Festival celebrates the birthdays of hundreds of flowers. It's perfect for appreciating the beauty of spring. Last year's celebration was truly...
Thud. Suddenly, the drowsiness in the entire room disappears. Everyone turns their head toward the source of the noise. Xavier wakes up. He stares at his empty hand where his brush used to be.
Grand.
The old man mumbles and then glances in the direction of Xavier's seat. Xavier ducks down to pick up his brush and thus doesn't see the glare.
Don't you think his voice can put anyone to sleep?
Holding a book over his head like a shield, he leans on the desk with his eyes closed. He continues to whisper.
How can anyone listen to him?
Well.
It's great the young master wants to attend class, but don't bother the other students if you can't pay attention.
Everyone chuckles quietly to themselves. The old man taps his desk for silence.
All right, let's continue.
Despite being sleepy, Xavier shows up at the Shiyuan every day. But one day, he doesn't doze off during class. Did you do something today? I poke his elbow, and Xavier stops his frantic scribbling. He gives me his paper. It's covered in small doodles.
Don't they look like you?
There. All me? Under Xavier's expectant gaze, I'm touched. I take a moment to look at the drawings. I mean, you're right. There's a nose, eyes, even hair. It's obviously me.
Really? Why do I have a feeling you were reluctant to compliment them then? I think there's a resemblance, but I need to do more research.
Puzzled, he picks up his brush and returns to doodling. Having been in the mansion for a while, I'm starting to get used to living here. Xavier and I are practically glued to each other. We attend lessons and keep an eye out for any info on the flower goddess masks. After searching high and low for gem-related leads, I found one. A while back, there was supposedly progress on making the masks. Counting today, it's been 5 days since Xavier left. The Chen residence is far away, and I can't exactly leave as I'm one of the flower goddesses. So, I had to let Xavier investigate by himself. I would have gotten a text by now. Ugh, my phone is a useless brick. I haven't had the chance to charge it either. He said he'd be back after 4 days. Why isn't he here? The garden is very cool at night. Worried, I sit on the grass and gaze at the night sky. I'm barely in the mood to appreciate the fragrant blossoms above. Upon hearing footsteps, however, I sit up straight. This spot is usually empty. Only Xavier and I have visited it a few times.
I've been trying to find you for a while now.
I recognize this voice. Pleasantly surprised, I turn around. Xavier? You finally came back. I scoot over to make room. You were gone for 5 days. I was about to look for you myself. With a hint of exhaustion in his eyes, Xavier pats my head.
There were a few accidents. I also planned to use the waterways, but you were probably worried, so I returned on horseback.
What happened? Anxious, I grab Xavier's arm and check for any injuries. Did you get hurt?
I'm fine.
Xavier takes my hand.
The craftsmen making the flower goddess masks are looking for inspiration. They haven't come back yet. I figured the jewel was in the Chen residence, so I decided to search for it. I found one. It was exactly like the gem we saw.
Xavier hesitates for a moment.
But I didn't take it. A gentleman doesn't steal from other people. Besides, the Royal Spring Festival is important to them. If there's a missing gem, it will mess up their preparations.
I agree. If we find the protocore fragment early and leave, there will be one less flower goddess. And then their ceremony would. We exchange a look, and a silent understanding passes between us. At least we know the gem exists. Since the Royal Spring Festival is coming up, why don't we participate in it? During these past few days, I was bored since you weren't with me. I even wandered around the streets. Everyone is excited for this ceremony. There's a lot to see and do. Do you remember that charismatic old man who sold pink roses?
Of course.
I saw those flowers again and bought them. Look, I even made flower cakes. I grab a box that's been sitting nearby. Did you just come back? Would you like to eat something? I made this by following the chef's instructions. Xavier opens the box, and he bites into one of the flour cakes. Then, he nods.
It's delicious.
I'll admit I ate too much for dinner. I haven't tried it myself. He pauses just as he's about to eat another flour cake. He slowly brings it to my lips. I hesitate for a moment, yet Xavier's hand doesn't move. I bite into the cake. Why is it sour?
It is? Can the same flour cake taste different?
Xavier sits up on the grass, his hand resting behind me. His warm breath washes over me. His gaze shifts and lingers on my lips. My heart skips a beat because of his expression. After a while, I open my mouth. Maybe it's because... Suddenly, Xavier leans in and kisses me. When he pulls away, he reveals a kind smile in response to my dazed expression.
You're right. It's a little sour. I can taste it. If you don't like the flour cakes, just give them to me.
My hand is awkwardly in the air, and I notice I'm blushing. I blink a few times. You remind me of the stray cat downstairs of our apartment. It eats like you when it's hungry. Xavier chuckles. He lowers his head to devour the flour cake. We've been here for days now. I wonder if that cat is starving.
Don't worry. The security guard will feed it.
I look up at the darkened sky, and Xavier follows my gaze.
Do you miss your home?
It's been a while since I've been away from Lincoln for this long. Even in a place this strange, you'll feel like you don't belong. No matter how long you stay.
What do you mean?
Am I wrong? I'm sure many people feel safer in a place they're familiar with. What about you? Ever get homesick? Xavier pauses for a moment. The weather tonight is gloomy. The moon is but a faint, glowing silhouette in the sky as it sits behind thick clouds.
When I miss my home, it feels like it's always in the distance.
Xavier.
But for me, a sense of belonging involves more than just having a home. And you're still by my side.
Our gazes meet, and a spark appears in Xavier's eyes. I can almost see my own reflection in them. Now that you mention it, I realized something.
What is it?
While finding that protocore fragment seems uncertain right now, I'm not scared. Maybe, the sense of belonging I have is like yours. His eyes are a little red, maybe because of how exhausted he's been lately. Even his blinking has slowed down.
Then, I'll be very happy. I'm a little tired. Can I lie down for a bit?
Before I can answer, Xavier rests his head on my lap. You're not a little tired. You're exhausted. I massage Xavier's forehead. Do you want to sleep on a real bed?
No, it's okay. This is fine, actually.
Time in here flies by. Before I know it, the Royal Spring Festival is here, with lanterns lining the streets and vibrant flowers in full bloom.
The messenger brought these. This one is for you.
On the table sit 7 wooden boxes, each possessing a beautifully decorated mask. The maid reaches for the closest one and gives it to me. I open the box, but there are no gems on the mask. Can I see what the other masks look like? I'm curious about their designs.
Of course. The young master ordered me to deliver your mask first. I haven't met with the other flower goddesses yet.
The maid opens all the boxes. Every mask has a different design, yet none of them have gems. I thought jewels would be used to decorate these. The maid freezes for a moment.
What do you mean? To be honest, I don't understand how the masks are made.
Don't worry about it. I think they're lovely. Smiling, I lower my head. My brows furrow. If the gem isn't on the mask, then where else could it be? I need to find Xavier and tell him. Take these to the other flower goddesses. They should already be dressed. I put on my robe when someone knocks on the door several times.
It's me.
Xavier is outside. Xavier? I was just about to go look for you. Down the hallway are the sound of footsteps and voices.
Let me invite myself in first.
Xavier pushes me into the room. Xavier, the gem isn't on any of the flower goddess masks.
I already know. About the gem.
His gaze shifts to me before moving elsewhere. Warmth spreads across my shoulder as Xavier adjusts my collar. It had moved down slightly. I was in a hurry, so I hastily put on my clothes. I quickly glance at him and adjust my outfit. This attire is too complex, with all these sashes, and this is only one robe. So what did you find out?
There's only one gem.
Hearing Xavier mention it, I raise my head. But my hair is immediately yanked back. Ouch.
What's the matter?
I can feel some of my hair got caught on the hairpin.
Let me see. It'll be hard to untangle. Don't move for now. Pulling the hairpin might hurt.
Xavier stands in front of me. Lowering his head, he starts undoing the knot. He takes a deep breath before continuing.
After the flower goddess dance ends, everyone will choose their favorite goddess. The gem was prepared for whomever would be the most popular. The messenger who brought the masks informed me about it. I'll be the one to personally give the gem to that flower goddess.
I haven't heard about this until now.
It's too tangled for my liking.
Xavier's cheek almost touches my ear as he moves closer, and his fingers occasionally brush against the nape of my neck.
You need to move your head down a little.
I unconsciously clench my sleeve.
Someone said it was difficult to get the gem. Currently, it's being heavily guarded. I mentioned wanting to look at it, but they wouldn't let me.
Xavier's voice trails off.
Done.
He takes a step back, and it seems the air around us finally starts to flow again. I touch the back of my neck. I make eye contact with Xavier, and we both immediately look away. I guess the store owner wasn't exactly correct. But at least we can adjust our plan. On the day of the Royal Spring Festival, the garden is filled with people. Flowers are in full bloom. The crowd here is dressed to the nines, their gazes full of anticipation. The sunset's light slowly fades. Nestled amongst the flowers, the lanterns flicker to life, and the tree's shadows spread out across the ground. The most important part of the ceremony, the flower goddess dance, is about to begin. I glance again at the crowd. Where will you be during the dance? Xavier gently takes my hand that's holding the petal.
That flower from the roadside will wilt if you keep touching it.
I'm just a little nervous.
Scared of dancing, Hunter? Actually, I got you a gift.
A gift?
Yes. Once the dance is over, I'll give it to you.
Why are you being so mysterious about it?
It was meant to be a surprise. But since you're feeling nervous, I figured I should tell you.
That works. Now, my focus has shifted to the excitement about your gift. Xavier smiles.
See that tree over there? I'll be standing under it.
I follow Xavier's gaze. Nearby is a tree covered in red silk ribbons and wooden plaques by the bridge. So if I mess up the dance, you'll see everything, huh?
I promise I'll forget about them after a good sleep.
His gaze remains on my face, appearing indifferent. Yet I sense a passion about to overflow.
The only thing I'll remember today is your beauty.
Amidst the music, the flower goddesses don their masks and raise their red umbrellas. Their dresses unfurl like flower petals. Engrossed in the dance's rhythm, my mind is strangely at peace. After all, I know there's someone in the crowd whose eyes are only on me. Thank you. Thank you. The dance ends, and I stand in the garden. Holding a flower basket, I'm surrounded by the other flower goddesses and people holding fresh blossoms. As they approach their favorite flower goddess, each person adds a flower to her basket. Despite getting on my tiptoes several times, the crowd makes it impossible to see the wishing tree.
Sister, your hair is very pretty.
A hand places a fragile peach blossom in my basket. Thank you. Be careful not to bump into anyone when you leave. I pat the child's head. When the basket can't hold any more flowers and people start to leave, I see the person standing beneath the tree. Xavier. I run toward him. Just as I'm a few steps away, Xavier walks up to me. My basket is filled to the brim with flowers, but they're gone now. It's time to see which flower goddess received the most. They'll announce the results soon.
I saw. A lot of people wanted to give you flowers. I couldn't get past them, so I decided to wait for you here. Seems they're quite fond of you, just like me.
My hand touches Xavier's arm. Have you heard about the customs here? A gentle breeze stirs the wooden plaques hanging from the branches. A faint, melodic sound dances in the air. They say a flower goddess can bless people's wishes. And if the person making the wish is someone she favors, it's more likely to come true. Xavier lowers his gaze and takes my hand.
While I'm not a flower goddess, I still hope the wishes of the person I like come true. Why don't we try it together? Throughout history, humanity has always made the same wishes. Perhaps it's because those feelings we have are timeless. What will you wish for?
If I tell you, then it won't come true. I wish.
What is it? Or does making a wish require you to stare at me? Shall we hang them?
How do you think other people manage to put their plaques so high up?
If I had to guess, they weren't alone.
Xavier, do you have a wish you want to come true in this reality?
Curious? If I tell you, then it won't come true. You said that earlier. I wonder why someone's flustered right now.
Someone's here.
You asked about my wish, in which case I'll only say it once. I wish I can be your sanctuary until the end of time, in your eyes.
We've prepared something special for the flower goddess this year. The most beloved flower goddess will receive a precious gem.
The flower goddesses gather around the wishing tree. They eagerly await for the announcement. Knowing the outcome isn't that important, I can't help but feel a bit nervous. I glance nervously at Xavier. He makes eye contact with me, and his gaze conveys a steadfast reassurance. It's as if he's saying he already knows the results.
All right, young master. It's time to present the gem to the flower goddess. Remember to remove her mask.
The messenger hands over a wooden box to Xavier, who then approaches the flower goddesses. All eyes turn to Xavier as his gaze falls on the box. Then, he looks at me. We lock eyes, and my heart somersaults when Xavier passes by the other flower goddesses. He's walking toward me.
To be honest, I wasn't surprised at all.
He opens the box, revealing a gem that shines even in the darkest of nights. I immediately sense protocore energy emanating from it. I instinctively reach out for the gem, but Xavier pulls the box back. He grabs my hand.
I need to remove your mask first. Then you can have the gem.
Stunned, I see Xavier take back his hand. There's a playful glint in his gaze.
Forgive me, Miss Flower Goddess.
He carefully places the wooden box in my hand. And then, he leans down as he holds the back of my head. Xavier doesn't look away as he slowly unties the rope, securing my mask. His warmth lingers even when his gaze isn't directed at me. The simple act of removing a mask seemingly feels like an eternity.
When you wear this, I'm always drawn to your gaze.
While he speaks in a soft voice, Xavier's fingers touch the area around my eye as he takes my mask off.
And when I look at you, you're always looking at me. It's moments like these that make me feel blessed.
Blessed. Why? Xavier hands me the gem.
No matter what happens, I'm always blessed to have someone by my side who makes my gaze never feel alone.
As the night progresses, some of the lanterns on the street dim. People leave, and Xavier and I sit by the bridge. Moonlight shines down on the shimmering river, which flows slowly. The ceremony is almost over. I poke Xavier's arm as I remind him. Where's my gift? I've been waiting for a while now.
Close your eyes.
Close my eyes? And yet nothing happens even when my eyes are closed. I poke Xavier's arm again. Can I open my eyes now?
Yes.
When I do, I see a hairpin in Xavier's hand. It's pretty and adorned with pink flowers as if they are on a branch. How stunning. I take the hairpin, admire its intricate design, and smell the flowers on it. And it has a nice scent.
The flowers are blooming beautifully this season.
Xavier holds my wrist, his face close to my hand. His nose touches the blossoms as he sniffs my palm.
It smells like spring. If you meet a flower goddess you like, give her fresh flowers. It's a local custom here. But there are many people who admire you, and all of them have given you flowers. My flower wouldn't be special enough. So, I made a flower hairpin. This is the first time I made one, though. Don't judge it too harshly.
Xavier's hand is warm. Like petals being carried on the wind, his smile descends and touches my heart. What makes you say that? It's amazing. Besides, even if you just gave me flowers, they'd be the most special ones I've ever received. I twirl the hairpin, placing it into Xavier's palm. I want to wear it right now. Xavier moves closer. His fingers brush against my ear as he carefully puts the hairpin in my hair. With ease, he adjusts it. I reach up to touch the hairpin, and soft petals tickle my fingertips. Let me give you a gift in return. I said before that a wish blessed by a flower goddess is more likely to come true. The gem rests in my palm, its ever-changing colors shimmering under the moonlight. I take Xavier's hand and place it over the jewel.
I do recall you saying something else. It's about wishes made by those the flower goddess favors.
I wanted to tell you that your wishes will always come true. Embarrassed, I interrupt Xavier. When our palms touch, I attempt to resonate with the protocore fragment. Brilliant light erupts between our hands. Xavier looks at me, his eyes reflecting the vastness of the night sky.
Is this your promise to me? Forever is but a collection of moments strung together. With every minute comes another, second after second.
Xavier tightens his grip on my hand, and the world around me dissipates instantly. His final words resound in my ears.
When I open my eyes again, I want you to still be by my side.
I feel like I'm falling through a sea of stars, yet I can sense Xavier's presence embracing me. It's as if we've journeyed across the cosmos together, through time and space itself as two stars accompanying each other forevermore.